I see a lot of patients who are deficient in it because
Mm.
in our darker pigmented skin, we have what's called melanocytes. Now,
Mm.
these melanocytes block the UV radiation
Wow.
from converting inactive vitamin D in our skin to active vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of us are deficient.
All right, welcome everybody to the Speak Your Life podcast. My name is Andre. I'm your host. You already know what time it is. Make sure you hit that subscribe button where you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, especially if you're on YouTube, because we really are growing this channel and we want you to be a part of this family. We want you to be a lifer for life, and that is what we want you to do. So that red subscribe button, make sure you're hitting it, because 80% of y'all, we looked at the statistics, are watching it, but you're not subscribed yet. The key is yet, because we want you to be part of this family. So we want you to do that right now here on this episode. So I'll give you a little time. Okay, cool. Anyways, without further ado, I want to welcome to the show my special guest, Dr. Gilbert, and he is all the way from Oklahoma City, and he just passed his board exam. So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
If you were like, give me a number 1 out of 10, how are you feeling?
Feeling probably about honestly a 9.
9. Okay,
9.
that's so close to a 10. Like that's a good number right there. Yeah. That's a good number. And why is that?
So 9, I would say, and not a 10, because of course we can always do better, right?
That's true. That's true.
Both physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm-hmm. Wow. So tell the people like when you pass your board exam, because that's big news, y'all. Like that's super big news. When you passed in October, right?
Yeah. So I took it August 22nd, and then found out in October that I passed.
Okay. So you passed it before then. You just got the results later on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. So we got a new doctor, a new black doctor in the house. So that's black excellence right there. So we're always proud of that. So
Appreciate
congratulations.
That. Thank you.
And he, guys, he went through his residency for 3 years, and he's specialist in internal medicine.
Yes.
So that's really awesome. So you ready to speak your life?
Yeah, man. So basically, born and raised in Oklahoma City, on the east side of Oklahoma City, which is a pretty rough area of the city, actually. Mm-hmm. Very underserved, very low barrier. Well, actually, barriers to healthcare. Mm-hmm. There are barriers, actually. Low access to healthcare. Mm-hmm. So basically, I grew up pretty much not really seeing physicians myself. So their representation wasn't there for me. Of course, when you're in school, you kind of toy with the idea of, yes, I would love to be a physician one day. But then life happens, right? It took me up until the Air Force to really learn how to study, learn what to study, what was important to study, and how to excel, for me to gain that confidence to go to med school.
Wow. So, and were there some influences that kind of guided you to get to where you are? Like, I don't know if you had like a family member or like a family friend that was like a doctor, and you're like, wow, that's so cool. Like, I like the fact that I can see myself in that person's shoes, or like one day or something like that.
So basically, I mean, I feel like I draw my support from my family. I have a huge family, So got all the love there, And so between, my uncle, my mother, who basically brought me up, like that's where I draw that strength from. As far as physician role models growing up, I didn't really have any. Honestly. Whenever I was at the Air Force Academy, was when I started studying sciences, so biology, chemistry, and everything. Learning how to put patient cases together. That's where my love for medicine came.
Wow, that's awesome. And so, and like through that, so you study. You said at the Air Force, and so you didn't necessarily go through like a typical like university setting for undergrad. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
So whenever I graduated high school, I did a year of college. Didn't grow that great. I was still like 18, 19, right? One day I walked into the mall and saw this cross into the blue sign, this nice fancy Air Force sign, cross into the blue. So I go and talk to the recruiter. It was really laid back, He was like, I'm not going to force you to join, I'm going to, let you take some time to think about it, and you come back to me whenever you're ready. So a month passed by, I'm like, okay, man, let's do this,
Yeah.
And he calls me and lets me know, hey, man, if you join now, you'll have the opportunity to go to Germany for your first station.
Oh.
I was like, man, sign me up. Let's do this.
Yeah. So was it like Frankfurt, Berlin, or?
I was actually at Ramstein Air Base, which is in the city of Kaiserslautern.
Oh, wow. So do you speak German? Like,
no, just non.
Okay. So maybe like hi, bye, thank you, the basics, super
exactly.
basic. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So whenever I was there is whenever my commander decided to send me to the Air Force Academy.
Oh, wow.
Put together my package for me and everything and sent me on my way. So I was there, went to the prep school first for a year.
Yeah.
And then went to the actual academy thereafter.
Okay.
And that's where my biology pre-med journey started. After that, I transferred from the Air Force Academy to University of Oklahoma back home.
Sooners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that's where I finished my biology degree. I went on to a master's in New York City. And then after that, med school at Oklahoma State University.
Wow, so you're like
cowboy too.
So you're a cowboy. Like that's conflicting. Like that's rivalry right there. Yeah. So you were like all over the place: Oklahoma, New York, Germany. And so what led you to Atlanta? What drew you in here?
So what brought me here is, of course, you hear everyone talk of Atlanta as the Black Mecca. So I wanted to try it. Yeah. So I wanted to try it out and see how I would like it. And so far I've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
It was everything that I actually thought it would be.
Nice. That's awesome. So you've been how long now with the Anwan Wellness Center? So
I've been with Anwan Wellness Center since I graduated residency.
Okay.
So I graduated residency at Northside Gwinnett in Lawrenceville, June 10th of this year. Okay. And then I started on with Anwan on July 1st.
Oh, nice. So just a few months now. Yeah. Under a year. That's good. That's good.
So about 5 months.
And so, you could have gone to like a bigger facility like a Grady or Emory, but you chose Anwan. What made you choose Anwan specifically? So
when I was in medical school, I signed up for the National Health Service Corps, which is a government entity that helps you pay back student loans. And so in return for that pay for student loans, you have to serve like a 3-year commitment obligation in an underserved community. So Anwan serves a really underserved community, patients, that, and then I also like their holistic approach to medicine. So not only do you practice traditional medicine, you also can basically, prescribe like supplements to the patient, so that way they're not taking pharmaceutical medications.
That's really good because there's a lot of people out there that maybe that's all they know is traditional medicine. Right. And my grandma, she just turned 90 this year, and so like she'd be on. I see, you had that little medicine, that little plastic container has like the different letters on there. She'd be taking like all kinds of medicines, like it could be from like 10 different kinds of medicines at least. I know people who've had parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles that have had 30 and 40 medications that they take daily. I'm like, that's insane. Yeah. So like that's really cool that you wanted to be with a place that had that holistic approach and just something that was like a different path than the typical like we're fixing the symptoms. Yeah. Well, really, it's not fixing. We're just we're like focusing on symptoms, but not the root cause, and that's what the holistic healing is about. Focus on that root cause.
Yep. So natural medicine, exactly. Everything that comes from the ground, I feel like is basically what helps us get better. Not only restore our health, but also help maintain our health as well.
Yeah. And speaking of like health and things like that, like we obviously are getting into colder times of the year. It's getting closer to winter. We're slowly getting out of fall. We got the holidays coming up. We got Thanksgiving. We got Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, Kwanzaa. So like, obviously there's going to be like all kinds of foods around the table, from turkey, mac and cheese, collard greens, cornbread, mashed potatoes, you name it. And depending on what family you're in, you might have pumpkin or sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, with all that being said, what are some like some surprisingly healthy items, or maybe like what are some things that maybe somebody might have on their table that's a typical Thanksgiving feast, or it could be Thanksgiving or Christmas rather, or just let's say holiday, like a holiday feast. What are some typical things that are there? Because everybody knows nobody's eating salads during the holidays. So, like, what are some typical things that are on the table already that people are already eating that are surprisingly healthy?
Yeah. So some healthy meals. The collard greens.
Oh, really?
Collard greens are really healthy.
Okay.
Anything that's going to be dark green and leafy, it's going to be really healthy. You're going to have your vitamins in it, your B vitamins, your zinc, and things of the sort, iron, things of the sort.
Yeah.
You can mix some turkey in there with it, as long as the turkey is, either baked or grilled, however you want to prepare it. Just not deep fried.
Deep fried. Sometimes our people will be like, "Yo, let me deep fry this."
Yeah.
But you mentioned another alternative that we were talking about before.
Yeah, you can air fry a turkey as well.
Air frying.
Yeah, that or the pressure cooker as well.
Pressure cooker.
Yeah,
Okay.
pressure cook it or air fry it. That's another healthy alternative.
Okay, nice.
And then you can saute some carrots.
Okay.
That's a good meal.
Yeah. Nice.
Deviled eggs, as long as you take that yolk out of there, I think it should be okay. Now you want the yolk out because the yolk it's really high in cholesterol. So you're gonna yank that out of there, and you can eat the egg white. Exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Chicken, of course, if you prepare the chicken correctly.
Chicken.
You can grill it, air fry it again, however you want to prepare it.
Yeah, because I know people who don't really like turkey like during the holidays. They just get chicken or some people ham, but ham is not very. That's another conversation.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But yeah. So like beyond the holidays and just being in this colder environment, being in this colder period of the year and things like that. Like, what are some things that people can do, especially like people with high counts of melanin, people with high levels of melanin, like yourself and people that look like us have.
Yeah.
What can they do to combat vitamin D sufficiency? And before you answer that, could you give a reason as to why vitamin D is important in the first place?
Yeah. So vitamin D is important in the first place because it regulates our mood, energy as well.
Okay.
Also it's a mineral, so it's found in your hair as well. So if you're low on it, you can lose hair. You get the fatigue, everything. So that's why it's important.
Okay.
Basically, for us, I see a lot of patients who are deficient in it because in our darker pigmented skin, we have what's called melanocytes. Now, these melanocytes block the UV radiation from converting inactive vitamin D in our skin to active vitamin D. So that's why a lot of us are deficient in vitamin D.
Yeah, and then obviously you typically would get it during when it's like sunny and
exactly.
But now the summertime's not here. We're not out on the beach soaking in sun or by the pool.
Yeah,
sipping a martini.
But some ways to keep it, at a normal level would be meals like the dark green leafy vegetables. Of course, fishes as well.
Yeah.
Fishes have it, and mushrooms as well have it.
Nice.
So those are some good foods. You can also talk to your primary care physician and ask them to prescribe vitamin D supplementation. It's a once-a-week pill you can take.
Okay.
It's pretty potent. It's like 50,000 units of it.
Oh, wow. What's the recommended amount to take?
So recommended amount of vitamin D, I would say about 1,200 international units a day.
So does that break down to like 2 tablets a day, or?
It depends on I haven't seen the over-the-counter vitamin D.
Okay.
So it depends on, how many international units are in the over-the-counter one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. But I think that a good go-to would be about 1,200 international units.
Okay. Good. And so what are some other things that people can, like other vitamins that are important to take, especially during the winter time.
Yeah.
That people should be taking out. We talked about vitamin D. What are some other ones?
Some other ones would be, of course, vitamin B12. That's good on energy as well. Also, your other B vitamins. So you want your vitamin B1, which is thiamine. You want your vitamin B9, which is folate, which is, again, all these are found in dark green leafy vegetables. You also want your vitamin C. Vitamin C is very important. It helps boost your immune system. You also want zinc as well.
Okay.
Selenium as well.
Yeah. And what is selenium for those who don't know? Because I got educated today. I didn't even know about.
Yeah, so selenium is a mineral that's very important. Actually, you can get conditions if you're deficient in it. It's berry. So there's a wet berry, there's a dry berry. Wet berry is heart failure. You can go into heart failure from it. Dry berry is more of like neuropathy symptoms, so nerve symptoms. Okay. So you can get some pins and needle sensations if you're deficient in it.
Gotcha. And that's something that typically people have a typical American diet don't really have an issue with.
Exactly.
But just having that knowledge is still good though.
Yeah. You don't really see that, like you said, here in America. It's like more in the underdeveloped countries.
Okay. Good deal. And so, and what are some I don't know if there are people who have access to gym memberships. I like to go to the gym. I like to stay active. Right. I try to stay at least 3 times a week in the gym at least, if I can help it. But for the people who are if they don't have access to a gym or they may not be able to afford a gym membership, what are some things they could do at home just to kind of stay active or something like that?
Okay, so some things that someone can do at home would be, of course, you want to get your cardio in, making cardio. So some ways to do that would be jumping jacks. Okay. You can do some reps, some sets of jumping jacks. Burpees is good. What is those? The bear crawls.
Bear crawl. Okay.
Yeah, you can do some bear crawls. Believe it or not, those are pretty tough.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you've done a lot of those.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So in the Air Force, they had us doing them during drills and everything, man.
Oh yeah.
Those are tough. As far as trying to, tone up, as far as muscle wise go, push-ups, of course, those are good. Reverse push-ups are good as well. Those build your triceps. You can also do, as far as core goes, I like to do what we call flutter kicks. Lay flat on your back and just kick your legs. It's like a scissor. Scissor kicks are good too. One leg over the next. Those help. So yeah, those are some things that you can do at home. Jump rope's a good one too.
Jump rope, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Double Dutch. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still can't do it. Yeah, I try to hop in there. I jump in at the wrong time. So yeah. But yeah, I'll get it one day.
Yeah,
I'll get it one day.
Definitely will.
So as we transition into from more of a physical health standpoint to more of a mental health standpoint, obviously that's become a lot more important nowadays than we've ever thought before. And so, during the pandemic, it was crazy. People were going through so many different things. Pandemic plus the winter time, it made it even worse. What now, post-pandemic, what do you recommend for people to do that are just trying to keep just stability in their mental health, their well-being, outside the physical aspect of it, but more so, what are some things you recommend there?
Yeah, so some things I recommend would be mindfulness, actually. So mindfulness is just taking that time throughout your day to just focus and just think in the moment. Don't think about any kind of outside influences. Just be in the moment. Take a good 15 seconds to 30 seconds and just pretty much breathe. Deep breathing exercises help. Yeah. They help with anxiety and stress levels. You can also do some yoga. Okay. Yoga is really good with anxiety and also with stress as well. There's an app called, I think it's Mindspace.
Mindspace. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard of Mindspace.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good app for mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
It plays some nice sounds in the background and it helps you relax.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, I
Well.
use that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, of course, basically talking to a therapist. I
Yeah.
think that now in our society it should be more important than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that in the Black community,
Mm-hmm.
there's a stigma against
Mm-hmm.
having anxiety, depression, but like you said, the pandemic kind of exacerbated those things for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just all have different life factors that
Yeah.
contribute, whether it be family things or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I believe in therapy for
Mm-hmm.
sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially from someone that basically isn't biased. Someone who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know you at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and same here. Because I know it's helped me, and different things that I've been through, and it doesn't even have to be like crazy dramatic either. It could just be like just everyday life, stresses and things that you encounter
Yes.
that having somebody like you said that's objective, that has no like fight, like dog in the fight or whatever like that, who's not like biased, towards you emotionally, like a parent or like a brother or sister would be.
Right.
So that's really good, and so like I know some things that people also do is like they talk about journaling and
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about other things like that too?
Yeah, I think journaling is great.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it gives you an outlet, right,
Mm-hmm.
to basically not only think about your emotions and what you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
but then also you're holding yourself accountable too, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
writing things down, so therefore, you can go back and always look and see, this day I was feeling this, look how
Mm-hmm.
far I've come,
Yeah.
and that actually really helps a lot of people too.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Because I know I've done like if you're a person like me, because like I I'm more vocal than I am like about like written things. So like I like to sometimes like I've taken like voice notes
Mm-hmm.
and like it would be my version of a
Yeah,
journal.
yeah,
So it'd be like, hey, you have the day, time, and you're just like,
right.
hey, like I'm just like feeling this way. You try just describe what's going on throughout
Mm-hmm.
the day, and then like I don't know. Sometimes you look back and you're like, yeah, man, I got through whatever I was getting through
Exactly.
during that day, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
at a different point of my
Exactly.
life right now, and you can kind of see where you've grown and
Mm-hmm.
see how you've, I don't know, overcome some
Right.
certain things that you were going through or just trying to break through, really.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, and so, because like I would say, like there is, you know, with let's talk about another aspect of it too, like of the mental health component with the social media aspect too, because like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what are your thoughts on like um, taking some time away from it or just like moderating your usage of it,
Mm-hmm.
like, because I mean, obviously, people are not going to just stop cold turkey.
Right.
Like for the
Exactly.
most part,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be something that people take in as a practice. But what are some things that people can do to moderate it a little
Yeah.
bit more?
So some things. There's actually apps out there you can use
Mm-hmm.
that can moderate it.
Mm-hmm.
You can set it to however many hours a day that you want to be on there, and then if you meet that hour or go past it, it'll shut it off. Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's that, or there's also just apps to let help you keep track of how long you're on these apps.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you tell yourself, "Hey, I only want to be on there a total of 3 hours a day,"
Yeah.
the app will tell you, "Okay, you've been on it for 2 hours and 30 minutes." So now I can only be on it for 30 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's those things.
Wow. Yeah, that's good to have apps that kind of
Hmm.
keep you accountable. You could also have friends that keep you accountable,
That's
and
true.
you
Yeah.
can make a bet and see like who spent the
Yeah.
least amount of time
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah.
Um,
Finding new hobbies too.
yeah, yeah, that's
New
true.
things to do.
Yeah.
Start taking up bowling, skating.
Mhm.
Those kind of things.
Mhm.
Being active versus being on the apps.
Yeah, yeah, and what are some thoughts on like meaningful interactions? Like, because I know that's a big component when it comes to mental health as well,
Mm-hmm.
especially for people who may not be married or have a family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that must be maybe in a way would you say overcompensate just to kind of meet that or just kind of have that fulfillment in the sense of like being able to, I don't know, have meaningful, deep connections and deep interactions with people, would be friends or just like other people, neighbors or whatever like that.
Yeah, it's definitely needed. My uncle always tell me, humans weren't meant to be alone, right? So,
Yeah.
so we need our family, we need our friends, we need those deep connections. And I would say those things are important. Especially with me, not going home for the holidays. I just had a Friendsgiving last night that I went to, and I really enjoyed it. With my friends.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. And so, and I think another component that's so important that sometimes can get overlooked is sleep.
Definitely.
What's the range? Because I know some people say, Stanford says 7 hours. Some people say 8. Like,
right.
What would you say is a good recommended range for people to have?
Yeah, I would say anywhere from 6 to 10 hours.
6 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oof.
But of course, the younger you are, the more sleep you need, I feel like.
That is true. Yeah. Or if you're at a certain age, like past, would you say 60 or?
Yeah, if you're past like 65 and older, you probably need more sleep too.
Honestly.
Yeah. So both those spectrums there. Children's and the elderly populations probably need more sleep.
Okay. Yeah. Good deal. So, yeah, obviously, like I said, we gotta have the physical and the mental components there to have that. Again, that holistic part of health in general, especially during the winter time, because like that's when they say the most suicides happen. That's when they say like the most like anxiety and depression, just like I guess like it skyrockets during the winter.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does. That's seasonal affective disorder is a real thing. That's seasonal depression that comes around the fall and winter times. Yeah, so it's important, like you were saying, to stay active, have those important, deep connections with people, those people that can help bring you out of the situation, or prevent you even from going in the first place.
Yeah. I like to. I mean, I know we have a certain concept of what Social Security brings, when it comes to monetary. But I like to think Social Security is like that blanket, that social blanket that kind of like keeps you from having those like mental, I guess, alterations in more of a negative way that kind of keep you balanced, that keep you secure, that keep you away from I guess indulging in super deep negative thoughts, especially that can happen and take place whenever you're by yourself and not in solitude, but just alone. Because there's a difference between being alone and having solitude.
Yeah.
So that's important. So, and as we wrap things up, like I like to talk about what are some in your own personal life. If you looked at your house looked at your life like a house, what is like a foundational pillar that you would say your house, your life stands on, and why?
Good question. I mean, I feel like Air Force values, I still try to live by those to this day. And so, number one for me would be excellence. So try to be excellent in everything that you do, no matter what it is,
Yeah.
I tried to do as well as I could through medical school, through residency, and now with Anwan as well, And we do have some tough patients at Anwan,
Yeah.
And so, and that can make you feel certain ways at times. But, you just keep telling yourself that you're there for the patient, and you want to see them get better, So I try to be, show up on time, on patients, and, try to do my very best for them.
Yeah.
Also, let's see, service before self. Service before self is a huge one. Nice. I like to give back quite a bit. Sometimes, even if it's taken away from myself, if I feel like I'm helping someone, that's, for me, that's a blessing.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And last question is question of the day that's more unrelated to what we discussed earlier. And so today's random question of the day is, what is your favorite, I don't know, thing to make or eat during the holidays? What is your favorite dish? I don't know. Like some people say yams, like collard greens. Like, what's your favorite?
Yeah, my favorite dish would be the collard greens.
Yeah,
like I like the collard greens with some turkey in it, man. It's a smoked turkey.
Smoked turkey.
Smoked turkey.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I would make a big plate of those.
Yeah. Wow. Did you have your mom's recipe that you kind of took in and made your own, or like you just kind of started?
I can't cook. No, I wait for the holidays to get the collard greens from whoever I can.
Yeah. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. But and any last things that you like to share? As we talked about, like tips, whether it be from diet to physical to mental, any last thing you like to, or advice you like to offer people?
Yeah, so I say in this season, this winter season, supplements I think would be great. So your vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry is good for the immune system as well. And those are some of the things I would say to start incorporating into your diet every day. Okay.
Nice.
And just like I said, that mindfulness is going to be huge.
Yeah.
This season.
Good. So, anyways, thank you. I really appreciate your thoughts, your wisdom, and just your presence being on this podcast. So,
thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, anyways, where can they find you? As far as like maybe find them at the wellness center. Actually.
Yeah.
Go to
Anwan Wellness Center. So we're in Hapeville. So address is 725 North Central Avenue, Hapeville 30354. Phone number there 404-761-2766. And I'm there 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, pretty much. 2 Saturdays in the month as well.
But not during the holidays.
Right, not during the holidays. Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. And so, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening and just getting this good information about what you need to do to keep your health intact and, like I said, physically, mentally, all that stuff. The holistic part of health. And, anyways, we'll see you on the next episode. But before that, we want you to remember to please subscribe, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and especially if you're on YouTube. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button and share with your friends. Share this information with your family because we want as many people to learn and grow together as possible. So, anyways, we love you, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.